Hello. Oh, okay, okay. My sound settings were messed up in the OBS, so it wasn't working. Uh, okay. Okay, great. I think we're good. So, I am working on a project here. I recently found something. It took me like 2 hours to get something working here. Basically, I'm trying to design a tessellating pattern, and it's really kind of clumsy to do it by hand, and I wanted to get a computer to help me do it. And after much trial and error, I found a method that seems workable. So I thought it would be worth putting on the YouTube there and working on this over the stream. I probably won't talk too much. Just one thing to mention though, this is a gift for somebody. So if you think you are someone that I would give a gift to, then don't watch this video, I guess. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let me go here and show you what I'm working on. So this is the pattern I came up with, and it was not easy to do this. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to find a good way to draw this pattern so that I could easily copy paste it and edit it. And basically what I did here is each of these squares in the spreadsheet is a number from 1 to 4. And I have some, where is that? Conditional formatting rules. I did it like this with, anyway, that's not important because this is not a good method, so there's really no point in talking about how I did it. So I worked on this and I was pretty happy with this pattern, but here's the thing. I am actually planning to knit this pattern into a pair of socks. So the problem that I was having was that the number of stitches that I'm planning to use just didn't work out. So you can see I tried a couple of variations. This one's a little bit different. The important thing here is to notice the period. So this one has a huge period. Now because I'm knitting socks, this is going to be like a tube. And the period kind of needs to match up with the diameter of the sock, if that makes any sense. I think, because the thing is when you knit in the round, it actually makes a spiral, so maybe I need it to be offset by like 1 stitch or something, or I'm not sure. So this is what I'm trying to figure out right now, but the point is the period on this is really hard to change. I basically anytime I want to try something new, I have to really, it's just really miserable. I have to try and edit it and move things around. It's very, very slow. So that's why I was looking for a better method. I found this really cool website that has really opened my eyes because I just kind of did this by hand, not really thinking about it. But this is really neat. So basically one technique if you want to make a tessellation of like, you know, interesting shapes instead of just like squares or something is you start with a tessellation of squares and then deform all the squares in the same way. So there's a neat little animation here. Yeah, here, let's look at this. Oh, okay, well, it's just postcard sized. So what you do is well, you do what this is. So you draw one line, copy and paste it to the bottom, and the reason you copy and paste it to the bottom is because the square gets copied and pasted downwards when you tessellate the square. So not really sure if that makes any sense, but yeah. Now, interestingly, there are different kinds of ways to tessellate a square across the grid. So here, instead of just copying and pasting the square, you know, in the obvious way, what you can do is every second rectangle or square is flipped. And so what this means for you is when you draw your deformations along the edge, you flip them like this, such that you're tessellating your deformations in the way that the shape is tessellated. Although this wouldn't work, now that I think about it, because I think you needed to copy this curve to the bottom here like that. And I'm not quite sure how these edges are meant to fit together. Maybe this is a better example. Yeah, here you copy this edge to that edge and you translate it down like that. So all four edges are determined from this one edge. And this bug here is apparently an example of that. That's not easy for me to see where I guess each bug is the lozenge here. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure on this one. But there's more. There's a whole bunch. So, yeah. Okay. Now that I have explained what I'm trying to do, let me show you the progress I've made so far in trying to do this in Inkscape. So the first thing that I did here, how do I do this? Okay, so let's do, does this work? Yeah, okay. So I took a screenshot from my spreadsheet and just traced some lines over it in MS Paint. So here, basically, my unit cell is I figured this out actually while I was drawing this. I could have drawn this unit cell a little simpler. Basically, I need a good color here. My unit cell is this parallelogram because I'm well, do you see what I mean? Because if I copy and paste just this parallelogram across the shape in the simple way, like I don't rotate it or reflect it when I copy it to a new place, I get back the original pattern. You kind of have to imagine that instead of drawing separate colors, I just drew an outline, right? And then so this outline is copied. So this is something that I realized this because I was looking at this page here. What you can do is if this pattern of repeating parallelograms is too difficult to work with, then what you can do is you can instead draw the diagonals of all the parallelograms and then erase the horizontal lines. So that's what's happening here. You start with the parallelograms, you draw the diagonals, you erase the horizontal lines. And this gives you maybe a more useful shape to play with. And here, so I realized here what I've done is I've taken the parallelograms and I've divided them into two pieces here that are rotationally symmetric. I guess, well, okay, fine. I guess another way to think about this is that my unit cell is actually this triangle here, and to obtain the whole tessellation, I not only copy and paste it, but I also rotate it by 120 degrees, I think. No, yeah, 180 degrees, 180 degrees. So, okay, I'm being really long-winded here. Let's move on to working with Inkscape. And I'll show you the, where is that? Here. I'll show you the technique I found. So first, let's just draw a unit cell. And I think to keep things simple, oh, wait a minute, I just thought of something. Nah, never mind. So okay, so yeah, what I want is notice that this pattern is kind of on a skew, and the issue with that is it means that my period, because I'm imagining knitting it in basically rows like this, right? And because this angle is kind of like, some random angle, the period along like the horizontal dimension is really, really long. It's way too long. It makes a sock that would be wider than your whole body. So instead, I think what I want to do is draw my unit cell such that this line is flat. And then that way it'll be easier for me to control the period because I could just take as many unit cells as I need, you know, to do one row. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to move on. Oh, geez, I wasn't showing MS Paint there while I was talking about all that. All right, let me just quickly do that. I'm not so good at this whole streaming business. Okay. Shoot, man, I'm really clumsy with OBS. Okay, so basically all I was saying here was that I'm going to redraw this, and I'm also going to align these diagonals horizontally, because that's how I'm going to knit it. Yeah, okay. Right, so let's go back into OBS and fix this. Okay, good. Now, here's the technique I found here. So if you take an object, just any object, let's make a star or something, a 5-pointed star, right? And just so that we can see its orientation, let me also draw like a little arrow in it. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to group these together. Group. Then you can go here to Edit, Clone, and create tiled clones. Now, I've been fiddling with this menu. There's a lot of options here, but it's also really clumsy because you can't control very easily what Inkscape uses as the bounding box for how it decides where to tile. You can't control where Inkscape's going to use the point of rotation when you apply rotations. So yeah, it's a little hard to work with, but it's enough for me to at least work on this. So here, for example, you have all these different types of symmetry, and this, in other words, this is the rule by which it copies and pastes to fill out the space. So if you just do a simple translation, it does exactly what you expect. You just get, you know, a grid where it copies and pastes. You can do other things like 180-degree rotation. So here you can see that every time it moves across a column, it spins at 180 degrees. But every time it moves down a row, it doesn't. It just copies and pastes it. There's a whole bunch of these different options that you can use. I really haven't found any good way to use this tool with anything except simple translation. It's just too difficult for me to understand and work with. Okay, so that's all said. Now, let me start by making my unit cell. Now, something really important that I've discovered. So first of all, let me try and get this right shape here. I'm just eyeballing it by looking at my MS Paint picture. How do you do this, man? No. Yeah, okay. So here I've drawn a square. Let me just make the stroke color a little bit easier to see just while we're working with this here. Now, what I've been doing to create a parallelogram is I've been using this skew tool, which is not the friendliest thing on earth. This horizontal percent is actually a percentage of the height of the object, which is a little weird. And there's this, like, you can set it degrees, but I don't really know what this does. Like, if I set this to, well, actually, why don't I just guess what the angle is there? It looks like it could actually be 60 degrees. So if I set this to 60 degrees, what does this do? That doesn't seem right. Yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna have to eyeball it here. I don't know, let's do like 30% or something, you know. Maybe a little more. Maybe like 50%. Sure, that seems fine. You know. Well, there must be an easier way to make an oh, you know what? I can make an equilateral triangle, come to think of it. using the polygon tool here. So if I do this, and I'll make it flat, and also let me copy paste it and rotate it. Really, there's really no point in trying to use, because like I could do the rotations as part of the create tiled clones with one of these fancy ones, but it's just too hard to understand, so I'm just not going to do that. Okay, so this is now my unit cell. Now it's important, even if you have just one single object as your unit cell, it's important to click group. You'll see why in a second. So now this is where there's going to be just a little bit of trial and error. So we're going to go into create tiled clones. And so here, if I were to just do a simple translation, they wouldn't quite... how come there's a gap here? Oh, because it's including the stroke as part of the object. Well, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Anyway, but... well, okay, let me just turn down the opacity now. Turn this down to like, I don't know, 15 is fine. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, so you take this and make sure that it is, oh, it's already grouped, yeah. So, so if I go here and go into create tiled clones and hit create, you'll notice they don't like snap together properly. And the only way I've really found to deal with this is to just, you know, eyeball it. So I kind of just do this until it looks right. Yeah, you know, this is kind of like smooth brain or whatever the expression is, but yeah, that seems good like that. And then here, let's also do this. Okay, yeah, that seems good. And then now per column, we need this to be, let's try -30 to start with. Oh, that's not bad. Almost there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right, and this is pretty, well, it's pretty good. Yeah. Now, it would be nice to, man, what does this do? Oh, geez, I don't know what that did, but I don't want that. What would be nice is if on the per row, I actually did 1 minus that, or no, because I don't want it to keep skewing off to the side here. I kind of want to keep it in a roughly grid shape. It'll just be easier for me to work with. So that means I need this to be, so minus 61.3. Would that work? Is that what I want? Nope. Man, I wish I hadn't done that. All right, well, let's just do this here. Hey, wait a minute. Do I really just want 0? Oh, almost. That's not quite right. Yeah, well, this is probably painful to watch, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's just not touch this. This is fine. Now, the whole reason why we needed to make sure that was a group is this is super weird. It took me like an hour to figure this out. If you click on one of the copies here in the tiling, okay, and you go here to edit, clone, select original. And then what I like to do is I just hold one of the arrow keys here just to move it. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to see what's going on. Now, what you'll notice here that if you click on this, you'll see Object has 64 tiled clones. Now, the reason why I went to all this trouble of using Inkscape, which I can edit this one object, and every time I edit it, it will edit every copy of it in the tiling, which is super nice. So if I go in here, and now this is important. You see here how it says layer 1 down here? If you double click a grouped object, it'll now say group whatever, whatever. And so now any edits you make are done inside this grouped object. So you'll see here if I do a little freehand, blah, 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 you'll see it adds it to every single one, which is nice. Okay, that's great. Now if I were to try and just copy my cat pattern, I might have something like, geez, it's hard to draw this on an angle, but I might have something like there's a head here with 2 ears and a body here with, oh man, this is bad. This is really, not my forte. Okay. But maybe what I could do here is, if I try to draw this a little more carefully. Okay, this is kind of not bad. Then if I rotate this by 180 degrees and put it here, it's kind of respectable-ish. Well, not really. It kind of looks terrible. Yeah. I wish I knew how to do stuff in Inkscape, like find the midpoint, and maybe if I do this, gosh. Oh, and now it's gone, right? Yeah. I mean, I could look it up. All right, fine, I'll look it up. Inkscape, find midpoint. Oh my god. Alright, okay. Maybe there's an easier way here. Maybe if I just draw a line. Where's the line tool? Is there no line tool? Oh, maybe I can use the pen tool for that. Okay. So how do you Inkscape find midpoint of line? YouTube video, 1 minute long. Oh, it's in the snap menu. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, here we go, midpoints. Okay. So now if I, hey, okay. Now I'm not good with the pen tool here. This is pretty bad. Does anybody know how to use the pen tool? I'm not a graphic designer. Maybe it would be better if I free-handed this. I mean, you know. I am not winning any awards. Nope. I want to reflect this. Oh, maybe this is what I want. Nope. Maybe this is what I want. Nope. Right, maybe if I do this and that. Nope. Maybe if I do that and this. Man, I'm not a geometer. All right, just forget it. Let's just, you know. Where's that midpoint? This is hard. I'm not good at this sort of thing. All right, that's kind of maybe good enough. Okay. And then what? So now I need to do the crazy business, right? So here I need to draw the tail. So let's just try something random. Fascinating. Gosh. Okay, I'm looking at my original drawing here, and I'm noticing that the tail barely peeks out. Oh, okay. Yeah, the tail. Oh man, the tail kind of defines the rest of the head. Oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. All right, let me draw the head. All right, let's forget the head for a second, and just try doing it the way they do it in that wiki page. So on my original one here, the tail kind of does this. And then kind of comes around like this. Then the leg comes out like this. Then we have another leg coming out like this. Yeah, that's it. So now if I paste this, rotate it, and move it. Oh my goodness. No, 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 no. Ugh. Take this and rotate it and what? like this. Okay, something is wrong. Something is wrong here. Okay, can I change the color of this? Oh, okay, that's just okay. So what's going on here? How come I have all this self-intersecting? Hmm. Wait a minute. What happens if I just delete that? Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right, because it gets copied. That's right. It gets copied anyway, so... So, I still have some kind of problem that I don't quite know how to deal with. This is all one object now, isn't it? So, yeah, just to make my life more difficult. Okay, maybe if I do a gradient on this, make it easier to see. Oh man. Jeez. Okay, but how do you... What the heck? How do you edit this gradient? All right, well, screw that. That's not helping. So, all right, let's just... No. All right, let's just... If I do this... Okay, so what is that intersecting with? I think it's intersecting with this. Right? Yeah, okay, so these two things are touching each other. Man, there's got to be a better way to do this, but I just don't know what it is. Oh, you know what? What if I turned on the grid? Maybe that would help. Then that way I could just draw along the grid. Or I could try my luck with the Bezier tool. That sounds just like a bad idea. Now how do you... Man. Could play this game. Oh my god. And they make it look so easy. Oh my goodness, I've dropped a lot of frames. Well, whatever. Okay. So I guess I just have to keep in mind that whatever I draw here ends up poking inside here, right? Yeah. And whatever I draw here pokes out here, right? So then oh, I see. But whatever I draw here also exists here. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So what if I put the front paw there, the back paw there? So now I have this sort of awkward cusp here, but I can smooth that out. Then I put the tail here like this, maybe? I wish there was an eraser tool. That would help. I guess you can like delete nose, but that's really difficult. Oh, well. Okay, okay. Well, that is an improvement because now at least it's not self-intersecting. It's kind of a weird pointy thing here though, which comes from yeah, I guess here we're always going to have the intersection of right? Because this corner gets copied up here. That corner is copied up here. So whatever I have down here gets touching up there. So this corner touches that. There's 6 things all touching here. What are those 6 things? We've got this. Oh man. Okay, let's try my luck with the text tool. Oh my god. Oh my god. How do you change the text size? Oh, up here. Okay, let's just. Okay, yeah, that's a little small. Right, yeah, so we've got this. What else? Now, why is the default so big? This. Whoops. We've got no, this, and then this, and then this. And finally, this. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Bad things have happened. Wait, what's this extra 5? Like that. And they all meet at all these intersections. So now, what do I have going on in my design? In my design, the thing that meets here is the front paws and the tails and the butts. So for me, the butts are in corners 1 and 4. The tails are in corners 5 and 2, and the paws are in corners 6 and 3. And the butts don't actually touch the paws. It's just the butts don't touch each other. It's just the tails and the paws that all meet in one point. So actually what's happening here is that, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Is there a simple way to simplify the curve, maybe? Oh, okay, that helps. Simplify more. More. Okay, that's actually useful. That helps a lot. So now it should be a little easier to make changes, like if I pull this in a little bit, and I think if I change this, I can change this to be a different kind of node. Smooth. That didn't work. Okay, now the other thing here is that now this is super pointy. Now what is this supposed to be? This is the front paw. Oh no. if I... Man, I wish there was just an easier way to do this. I seem to remember having an easier time editing curves, but maybe that was in a different piece of software. Because, like, you could... You can change the node type. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's control-click to change the node type. So you can make the node, like, smooth, and it'll be different. Somehow. Don't exactly know what this is doing. Oh my goodness, what's happening? What's happening? Stop, 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 stop. Oh, okay, you can... Alright, maybe I'm starting to get the hang of this now. We can simplify this a little. Alright, now let's pull this guy in a little bit. Okay. So what's going on here from 5 to 4? And also, how... So 4 is being defined by this up here, so it's really from here to here. How did I solve this in my pattern? So what I have right at the intersection is a sort of cross where the paws and tails meet. And the cross is kind of aligned along one edge, but splitting through like that. So this paw basically, I'm not going to keep this cross in because it'll confuse me. But basically, if I were to kind of exaggerate the pointiness here, this paw would come in kind of like along this edge and then come out on the midpoint like that. And then the tail would do what exactly? It would kind of come in like this. But then, okay, hold on. It's getting really hard for me to see this without drawing at least a sketch of the head here of the cat. So let me just go ahead and do that. This is not easy. Oh my god. This is one of the most hideous things I've ever done. uh, like these like upwards cats, they're not bad. They're like okay. But the downwards cats, like what's going on? They don't even have a tail? Like what? Alright, let's turn off this snapping. I don't need it anymore. I'm not using it. So yeah, the downwards cats need a tail. Okay, okay. So the downward cat's tail. I wish there was a paintbrush. That would really make things easier. I guess the pencil is the closest thing to a paintbrush. But that's drawing paths. I really just want like a brush. Oh, what's this? Ooh. Okay, that's definitely not what I wanted. Anyway, so the downward cats need a little work. Well, but then the upward cat doesn't have a tail now. I just noticed. Ugh, this is not easy. It's not easy. No, 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 no. Just. This is hideous. This is so hideous. Like the upward cat kind of looks okay, but the downward cat. Okay, hold on. I really need to color this in somehow. How do you do that? No, 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 no. Escape, connect paths. Why has this got to be a 5-minute YouTube video with a 1-minute intro? Oh, thanks. They hope I'm having a great day today. Yeah, whatever. Let's just... How do you do this? not work. That did not work. I don't know why it connects sometimes but not others. Create link. Ooh, that did not seem like what I wanted. Okay, I got a couple of problems here. First of all, I'm not actually editing my group object anymore. Don't ask me why. Okay, now I can go in here. That doesn't connect them. Oh, this is to be connected into all one path because I want to fill it. Make like a fish and fill it. Select the nodes you want to join together with the Edit Nodes by Path tool. Click and drag over the nodes to make sure both are selected. If you have two separate paths, make sure you have both paths selected. Okay. In the top menu, right below the Layer tab, you will find Join Selected Nodes. Oh, that was easy. Okay. Now we need to do the same thing over here. Okay. Okay, great. So now I can take this and fill it. Great, 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 great. Okay. So the red cats are the upwards cats, the unfilled cats are the downwards cats. And obviously there's something wrong with my downwards cats. So now our job is to fix that. Okay, one thing that might be worth doing is what? Let's start by simplifying this path a little, make it a little easier to work with. Okay, well, I need to pull this in a little bit to make room for the tail. I need to pull that in to close the shape, and it would be nice if the cat didn't have a pointy butt. Doesn't make sense. I need to close off the paw. Somehow. So I'm doing that by changing the color. So I guess maybe what I'll do to model that is I'll just put in just a dumbass line like that. Yeah, you know, that's kind of all I can do here. So, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay. Uh, all right, just whatever. We're just gonna leave that as a line. Um, so I still need to fix why the white cat is messed up. So I think the thing to do, this is really going to be harrowing, is I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm going to do this. And basically, I'm just going to tweak it until it kind of works. Nah. This is where it would have been helpful to have the uh, uh, the proper tessellation instead of me doing it by hand here. Man, I cannot believe how much of a pain this is. There's got to be an easier way. No. Uh, this is so horrible. Uh, maybe I need to just go and edit the grid. Um, because ultimately I need to draw this on a grid because each square of the grid is going to be a stitch. I mean, if I was better at knitting, I could probably do crazy things where like you increase and decrease in every single row in such a way that you're not changing the total number of stitches, but you're angling your stitches. I mean, you can do stuff like that. Do I know how to do stuff like that? No. This is so ridiculous. I mean, maybe my original technique of just drawing it straight into Excel and fiddling with it, maybe that really is the best way. Because this Inkscape technique is actually not nearly as helpful as I thought it was going to be. It's actually way harder. I'm never gonna finish this project if I'm so persnickety. Um, because I don't. Okay, let me go back to here for a second. Do this and then that and then this. No, no. Wait, why is this not working anymore? Oh, okay. So I actually think this pattern is my favorite so far. I like that both of the paws are only one row thick. Maybe that'll be hard to see, but I think this one is a little odd because one paw is kind of like a big bulge here, but the second paw is flat. I kind of think this pattern looks the best. The issue is that the period doesn't work for the number of stitches that I need, right? Okay, well, I could just forget about having it be a perfect round. Like, you don't look at the bottom of your sock that often, do you? So it's okay if there's like a visual discontinuity, um, at the bottom of your sock. Right? Right? It'll make it a little bit tricky to, well, not that tricky. It'll be a little bit harder to knit maybe because the color changes will be a little harder to keep track of when the pattern doesn't obviously continue. But, yeah. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So this here, so I found, okay, I'm using 3.5mm needles, and because that's what the pattern called for. But the pattern also calls for 56 stitches. And I tried that, and it was huge. So either I need smaller needles, or I use fewer stitches around. So how many stitches am I willing to do minimum? Each cat here is 9 stitches wide, and I guess along the top of the visible half of the sock, I'd like to have a good 3 or 4 cats across it. 4 would be, I think, ideal. 3 is a minimum. So that means that along the top of your foot, I would want that to be something like 18 to 20 stitches. That seems about right, actually. Yeah, okay. I think I can do this pattern and just forget about having the perfect continuity. Like along the bottom of your middle bottom of your foot, the pattern just will not continue. Like basically what'll happen is I'll take a set. So let's say I do like 40 stitches in the round or something like that. So what I'll do is I'll just take what'll effectively happen is I'll take this rectangle like this. I'm gonna regret doing this, aren't I? And then I'm gonna just end up, is this gonna work? Pasting it into a sock like this, right? So basically along the back of the sock, what you'll see is this messed up cat thing. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just put 2 buffer stitches of just one solid color just so that it's not like super weird. Let me just pick an arbitrary color here. You see what I mean? So like, yeah, it'll look a bit odd along the bottom, but hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. What if I do that a little bit? What if I take this 38 stitches? That might be a little small. But then again, his feet are smaller than mine, so it might be okay. I mean, Their feet are smaller than mine, so it might be okay. So let me try this. Maybe this won't look too bad, and maybe if I'm clever about how I knit it in the round. I mean, even just like this, it looks a little odd. Maybe I could just do like a couple of little fix-ups so that it looks a little bit less weird. You know, so maybe something like that. Okay, actually that might work. Okay, let me go ahead and just paste this pattern. Oh man, how did I do this before? I had a way of doing this before. If I do this, this is really tricky business, I gotta say. Figuring out how to paste this. All right, and then maybe just stop here because I don't have all night. What time is it? Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna regret staying up this late, but that's okay. So let me copy up to here. What the heck? Oh man, someone messed up my conditional formatting, and that someone is me. Oh wait. Well, okay, whatever. Just get out of here. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I could just this. Okay. So now if I do that, and then do that. So this is what happens if you just naively copy and paste. How big was my copy here? 38 stitches. So 38 stitches in the round. I'll have to do experiments to see if 38 is enough. But here I can do a couple of manual fix-ups along the seam. So maybe if I make that a 3, make that a 3, and make this a 2. Maybe make that a 3. I mean, I wouldn't say it looks good, but just so it's not as rough looking, maybe I can make this 2. Not winning any awards. Or it's like I say, like if I'm clever about knitting in the round, because technically when you knit in the round, it makes a spiral. I have to think about that. Because I have to think about that. I think there's nothing else for me to do here but do an experiment. I think I just, yeah, I think I just need to start knitting it and see what it looks like. I'm never going to know how good it's going to be until I try it. I think this is a good enough plan. So all that was for nothing. All that sitting with Inkscape and fighting with it was just worthless. In the end, my original dumb method of drawing it in squares on a spreadsheet was the one that ended up working. All right, I'm done.